What's up, guys? Welcome back to Let's Play Sengoku Basara! So at the end of every encounter, the enemy takes a turn and gets to fight some of the other factions in the warring states, and we get to see the chaos that ensues. Wow, the Takeda lost already? That doesn't ever happen when playing as Masamune. I did not expect that. Also, it looks like Motochika won and Akachi Mitsuhide won. So I can go fight the Maeda. Oh, this is tricky. I really do not want to fight a Uesugi Kenshin. I was hoping to fight the Takeda because they're my main rival. This means we're going to have to go up to the snow plains and fight Itsuki, which is going to be really degrading. I'm going to go pick on a 12-year-old girl, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, normally I was hoping that Uesugi Kenshin would get a turn and he would go take out Itsuki, because that's usually what he does. And you normally never have to fight her. She's one of the more rare fights in the game because she's way up there in the corner. You will rarely fight the, unless you choose a character that starts right next to them, like you do as Masamune. You rarely get to fight the people that are in the corner like that. But this is cool, we're in a snow map, which is interesting. And the enemies are surprisingly underclothed for this environment. I would think they'd be wearing a little bit more protection. And it's not like this is not a unique skin for this area, but whatever. Same rules apply as the last battle. I'm still using the exact same setup and everything. There's multiple paths we can take coming up here. Each one is guarded by a commander unit there at the gate, and defeating the commander unit will open the gate. So you can actually skip all the enemies along the way. There's an ambush here, a scripted ambush that spawns in 4, or actually 5, looking at the mini-map, 5 more commander units. So that's going to be interesting to deal with. I hadn't played this for a while when I'm recording this, so I do apologize about the gap in time between the previous upload and this one, but I had to readjust my recording setup and I was at a con, so I actually got quite a few Basara merchandise at the con as well. I got the art book for Basara 3, and I got some of the Basara soundtracks as well. Good stuff. So, according to the research I've done, Itsuki is not really a real person in history. She's just like a fictional character from a legend. And she's supposed to be like, I guess, an ill omen to samurai or whatever. I guess her story, I will probably not be demonstrating her. She's one of the characters that I just refuse to play as, because she's so intolerable and obnoxious to use. She actually has some really unique attacks when you play as her, but I just cannot be bothered. But she... I will not be playing as her, but her story in the game is that, you know, Nobunaga comes and destroys her village, essentially. So she basically hates all the samurai. She just comes from like a little, almost like an Eskimo tribe up here, and which makes sense, you know, given the design, but she really wants nothing to do with this war. I think we're going to take the lower path here. This seems like the path of least resistance. This is actually a pretty small map, all things considered. A pretty easy map for the most part. There's not a whole lot of challenging enemies here. The part that we've come up to thus far, there's not been any of those horn-blowing enemies yet or anything like that. Man, back in this day and age, there probably wasn't any kind of medicine or anything like that. And I wonder how many soldiers died just from the weather alone. Then again, I can't imagine in the real Sengoku era much warfare took place up in the mountains that were this snowy. Everybody was probably smart enough to get their ass out of there. Oh, Masamune, why do we have to go pick on the 12-year-old girl? You don't have your strategist, and this is the crap you step into. So, I should probably shed some light on exactly what happened with my recording setup, because it's pretty dumb. It's really dumb. I recorded about maybe 4 or 5 videos worth of RAWs for the Ratchet & Clank HD Let's Play, and I was importing it into iMovie, and it just straight up crashed on me, and every time I tried to reboot it, it was stuck in the import operation, and I couldn't do anything in iMovie. So I tried to uninstall the version that the capture device automatically imports into, and I was not able to reinstall it because I have a more current version on the same computer. So basically the Mac didn't know what to do with itself. I had to uninstall iMovie and reinstall it on the latest version, and I basically spent a day and a half trying to figure out how to import the RAWs into this version, and everything worked out just fine. Yeah, guys, let me know if there's any other characters that you guys are going to want to see by the end of this Let's Play, because right now I just have the 4, and I would really like to try to demonstrate as many as I can and to be ambitious, but I really just don't know which ones I'm going to feel comfortable with without some additional test playing. I don't want to mention any in particular until we get to that point. Huh, that's kind of cool. These guys are actually like knee-deep in the snow here. I will be honest, my test run of this campaign, I did actually try to fight the Maeda at this point already on Ultimate difficulty, and it did not go so well. So I'm kind of trying to make a little buffer there. I'm also trying to make, I'm kind of strategically going to try to make as few fights for myself as possible, and because after each round every character takes, well, not every single character, but most factions take a turn, and they it's a completely random which factions win. I thought that maybe it was dependent on, you know, what character you're playing as, like you're always going to go up against your rival faction or your story faction, because there's a story cutscene involving your fight with the Takeda. And it also goes if you're playing as Yukimura or Takeda Shingen against Masamune as well. You know, there's like an anime cutscene for that, but obviously the game is not dependent on you needing to see that, so it just kind of skips it if you never get a chance to fight them. So I guess the Maeda are my rivals in this particular Let's Play, and I guess that's the LP curse or just bad RNG. Maybe the RNG gods have something to do with the LP curse. Maybe it's all tied in together. Alright, so we're finally fighting Itsuki here, and she has some very interesting attacks, as you can see. She has a massive mallet that she uses, which is very slow, doesn't really deal a whole lot of damage. It's effective enough if you're playing as her, like she functions as a character, but the most obnoxious thing that she can do, well, she's also Ice Elemental if you couldn't guess, so she will freeze you with her attacks, leaving you vulnerable to more damage. There's actually quite a few characters in this game that are Ice Elemental. Hojo was as well when we fought him. Obviously, Uesugi Genshin is, and Maeda Matsu is, and we'll be fighting them later, of course. Yeah, but she's Ice Elemental. She has that attack where she throws the giant snowman down for protection, and that other like mallet that comes down. It's like a heavy attack. I'm trying to be careful here. Magnum Step is good for closing the distance between her, but her most dangerous attack is what she did just there, where she throws out the she throws the mallet and then proceeds to flail at you with her tiny little arms. And that doesn't sound very threatening, but unfortunately that can deal a lot of damage, and she can pretty much hit indefinitely with it. See, here I'm blocking it. If I didn't block it there, she probably would have killed me, because that thing can hit pretty much infinitely. It attacks like several times over before you actually, before the combo ends. But luckily it's not unblockable. You just had to be very careful or else I would have died there. So unfortunately she doesn't have like another general that she can send out to fight me. So she fought me herself there. Now I gotta go fight her again at the end of the map. So they basically artificially extended this fight, and I really don't care for it. I'm really looking around for some health right now, and there's a guy carrying a crate over there. I may go kill him for the bonus rewards and hopefully get some more health back. If not, I'll just see if I can't get a good combo chain going on some enemies and regain some health that way. She's pretty difficult to hit, and one of the things you'll notice I'm doing in this game is because there's no auto lock thing, I'm kind of shuffling back and forth left to right with these attacks and making sure that there's no enemies that can hit me from the sides. I'm not just going straight forward into a group of enemies, if that makes any sense. I've also didn't mention before, you have two aerial attacks. You can jump and hit square for like a side-to-side slash, and you can jump and hit triangle, what I did there for the downward slash, which I usually find to be more useful unless you're in a very Unless you're in an area where there's some slight elevation, you can jump up towards the enemy. I think that's a decent amount of health. There's probably more health in the area there. In the actual boss area there. Again, I don't really care if my allies follow me into there. But you really have got to watch your health on ultimate difficulty. Like I lost a perfectly good run to Akaji Mitsuhide twice because I wasn't watching my. He gets you, like, he is a slimy bastard too. We'll get to him in a little while here. I just got the rare drop there, the big health or whatever, and so that's good. That increased my health a lot, and I have a full Basara gauge as well. So we should be in good shape for this boss. I'm just trying to get through all these enemies here. And unfortunately, these guys are respawning a lot because a lot of them are off-screen, and their captain units are kind of still in the vicinity. But we'll deal with them soon enough. Let me know if you guys think I'm abusing War Dance. I mean, I really feel like with how difficult it is to protect yourself from the amount of enemies on screen in Ultimate difficulty, that really it's the best way to actually easily complete Ultimate difficulty is with a character that's as strong as Masamune with an ability that's as good as War Dance. Because if it wasn't for the fact that I had so much gameplay time under my belt as Masamune, I wouldn't have chosen him as my first character for Ultimate difficulty. He's not one of my absolute favorite characters, but I mean he's up there, but he's not like one of my favorite characters in the entire series. But he is a staple character, and I enjoy all of his screen time in the games and in the anime as well. He's always portrayed very well. If you don't like you kind of have to like Masamune to like Basara, because he's essentially the main character. Like, the story definitely cares about him. He always plays a very pivotal role, and he's kind of a hard counter to a lot of the contemporaries that this era is known for. Like, he is a bit of a rogue. He's a bit of a punk. He's a bit of a kid, honestly, too. And, you know, he doesn't really play by the rules, and with so many people that are about, you know, honor and dignity and respect and all that, he's just like, I don't deal with that kind of crap, and he just kind of shrugs it off aside, and he's just the wild card, and it's great for that reason. Alright, I really got to be careful here with these guys. I think those guys with the giant wrecking balls will knock other enemies into the air, but it's not really worth taking a hit. Alright, I really want to deal with all the other enemies in this area before we really continue the boss fight. Just because if I leave any of these commander units alive, I'll pretty much get an infinitely respawning number of enemies, and I really don't want that. Especially when I'm trying to fight the boss. Not that she is exceptionally hard or anything, this map is really not exceptionally hard, but just the fact that... See, there we go, I got knocked into the air. Doesn't deal a whole lot of damage, as much as you think it would at least. Maybe it's just my weapon, but I remember these guys being a lot tougher in the past. Like, I don't even need War Dance to be able to kill them easily, but it does help to have the extra reassurance. Yeah, she's just kind of over there waiting. You can tell when you've triggered the boss fight to begin, too, because you'll get, like, a little cinematic. Like this. Usually I'm going to skip those. Yeah, so this fight is almost exactly the same. She's really not any stronger or weaker. If anything, bosses that you have to fight multiple times or somebody that runs away and you have to fight them again are probably a lot easier to kill than somebody that you just fight them one time and win. But it's all conditional based on the map that you're on and that kind of thing. Yeah, she's a pretty minor character. Not a whole lot of story significance, not a whole lot of screen time in the game. Rarely ever wins anything. Like, there was maybe one time in every campaign that I've played in Basara 1 where she beats Uesugi Kenshin. I don't think I've ever seen her beat Masamune because they're also right next to each other. So, like I said, I usually don't have to fight her because usually Kenshin does it for me, and then I just have to fight him, and we take the whole land there. Unless you pick somebody that starts over on the west of the warring states of Japan. You will probably get some. You'll probably get Masamune to conquer. You'll probably get Masamune or Takeda maybe to conquer the Uesugi. So you'll have Echigo will be conquered by the time you get over there, and you won't have to fight Uesugi Kenshin. But we'll see how it goes. Her only appearance in the anime was in the very end of the last episode, where her and Mori Ranmaru become friends. And it's a cute little touch, especially because you don't want a cute kid like Mori Ranmaru to die, of course, the little punk. Alright, so we defeated Itsuki with a rather unpleasant taste in our mouth. Whatever, it's war. It's not meant to be pleasant. Time to move on to the next one. Almost to level 20, which is the max level. Yay, we hit level 20.